Mogul Motivation, empowering and inspiring entrepreneurs and dream chasers worldwide, 1 week at a time. Presented by True Stories Media, and I am your host, Antoine Twiz Taylor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mogul Motivation. Welcome back. I'm happy that you are here. If this is your first time listening, please like, subscribe, and share this podcast on whatever platform you're listening to it on right now. This podcast is for the aspiring entrepreneur trying to get over that hump and make things happen. This podcast is for anybody with a dream that wants to go forward and accomplish that dream. And the date that this episode will be released will be March 28th, 2023. It will be the last Wednesday of March. We've had 5 Wednesdays in March. March has been a pretty full month if you look at the blocks on the calendar, but March flew by. March flew by. And as I reflect about the month of March, the last month of this first quarter in 2023, March has been a pretty decent month. It's been a pretty decent month. I've made some good money in March. I've had mostly good energy in March. I didn't have too many lows in the month of March. But even with that being said, even with March being a decent month, a month that, if I was to look at a prediction of the trajectory of my 2023, March is a good prerequisite, a good precursor to what 2023 may hold for me and for my business and for my dreams. I still made some ill-advised decisions in March, financially, personally. I still made some decisions I should not have made. I still made some poor decisions in March. I can be fully transparent and admit that. March was a good month, but in between that goodness and all of the good things that went my way in March, there are still some decisions I could have did better. There were still some poor decisions that seep through the cracks, and none of us are perfect. Okay, we're never going to get it right 100%. But this week, today, on this episode, I just want to talk about poor decisions. POOR decisions. Poor decisions are not bad decisions. Let me differentiate between the two. Bad decisions are decisions that you take calculated risk, right? And it does not work out in your favor. Okay, every entrepreneur, every dream chaser, every person has to make decisions daily. And some of those decisions we calculate, we anticipate things to work out in our favor, but unfortunately they do not. That is a bad decision. Bad decisions are not negative. Bad decisions are what I call poor decisions, POUR decisions, because every decision that you make should pour into you. A good decision should pour into you because things work out in your favor. A bad decision should still work out for you and pour into you because you learn from it, right? You gain wisdom, you gain insight, you are enlightened from that bad decision, and you know what not to do in the future. You should focus on poor decisions, POUR decisions, because poor decisions will always fill you up. Poor decisions, you can walk away from it, whether things worked out in your favor or not. You can walk away from it empowered. You can walk away from it encouraged. You can walk away from it with more enthusiasm and know that despite things not working out in your favor today, they will work out in your favor tomorrow and next week. These are poor decisions, POUR decisions. Good decisions, bad decisions, the result is always a poor decision, POUR. But see, this month, I made some poor decisions, POOR decisions. And poor decisions are not bad decisions. Bad decisions, like I just said, can still work out in your favor, but poor decisions, POOR decisions, will never work out in your favor. See, a poor decision is a decision where you know things are not going to work out for you. Decisions where you know you should not be doing what you are going to do, and you do it anyway. These are poor decisions. And as entrepreneurs, as dream chasers, as people of righteousness, as people who are striving to create something better on this earth than what we found when we entered this earth, poor decisions, POOR decisions, we should do our best every single day to limit those as much as humanly possible. We are human, and we are always going to make decisions like this. But there comes a time when you have learned enough that you have to realize you can't do certain things because you do not have any wiggle room for failure right now. You are getting up in age, you are getting older, you are getting wiser, you are getting deeper into your dreams and in your business. We can't afford any poor decisions, POOR decisions. We cannot afford those right now, ladies and gentlemen. So do your best to be wise, to have the awareness and the discernment to keep those at a minimum. I'm not telling you that you are never going to make a poor decision, POOR, ever again in your life, because you will. You are human. But do your best to limit those as much as possible. And that is my decree going into April and going into the second quarter of this year. I am going to limit my POOR decisions, my poor decisions, as much as possible, because in March, I made more than what I should have made. I made too many poor decisions, POOR, when it came to finances, when it came to my personal life. There is room for improvement in these areas. And in April, in the second quarter, and for the rest of 2023, and for the rest of my entrepreneurial journey, I am being intentional with limiting my POOR decisions. Going forward, I am going to make nothing but good decisions. I am going to make bad decisions, but both decisions will always result in poor decisions for me, POUR decisions, because they will pour into me, they will fill me up, and they will make me a better person. They will make me a better man. They will make me a better entrepreneur. They will make me a better dream chaser. And that is what I want you to focus on, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to focus on POUR decisions. Despite if it's good or bad, despite if it works out in your favor or not, you will still walk away from it empowered because you learned from it and you took a calculated risk. You made a calculated decision and it did not work in your favor, but you learned from it and you know what not to do in the future. Whereas a poor decision, POOR decision, is something you know isn't good for you. It's something you know you should not do, something you know that is not going to benefit you, yet you do it anyway, whether it be financial, in your personal life, it does not matter. Let's limit those poor decisions, POOR decisions, and let's focus on more poor decisions, POUR decisions. Let's fill ourselves up every single day, because if nobody else is going to do it, we have to do it. Sometimes the people that we expect to pour into us, sometimes the people that we want to pour into us will not pour into us. And it doesn't mean they are bad people. It's just they may not do it. They may not have the capacity to do it. They may not have the attention to do it. They may not have the awareness to do it. So therefore, we need to have that awareness every single day of our lives, every single day of our entrepreneurial journeys, to pour into ourselves and make sure that we pour into ourselves so much, make sure that we learn so much from the decisions and the wisdom that we gain that it starts to overflow and fall fresh into somebody else in our proximity. And then they pour into themselves so much that it falls fresh onto somebody in their proximity, and it's so on and so on. And that's how we continue to grow. That's how we continue to work. So in this next quarter, in this next week, in this next month, wherever it may be in your life, focus on pouring into yourself. If you have to make a decision, if it's a calculated decision, and if it does not work into your favor, if it turns out to be a bad decision, if it costs you money, if it costs you time, it's going to hurt, but don't beat yourself up, because you was only going to learn that lesson unless you made that decision. Poor decisions, POUR decisions, can be good in your favor, can be bad in your favor, but either way, you are going to learn from it. However, a poor decision, POOR decision, is something you know you shouldn't do. You don't need to be spending your money on that. You don't need to be doing this. You don't need to be doing that, but you do it anyway. That's a poor decision, and you are going to feel the burn from it because you knew that the burn was coming. You will learn from that too, yes. But nonetheless, the consequences will be valid because you knew what you was doing. Let's limit those poor decisions, POOR decisions, as much as possible as we go forward to accomplish our dreams, ladies and gentlemen. So that's my message this morning. Let's continue to work. Let's continue to imagine reality. Pour into yourself as much as you can every single day. So much so that you continue to overflow and you achieve everything that you want, and the blessings that you receive will start to spill onto somebody else. If this podcast has benefited you in any way, shape, or form, I ask for two things as always. Number one, leave a 5-star review. And number two, pass it on to a friend who may benefit from it as well. Have a great day, everybody. I'll talk to you next week.